So first of all, Brendan, thank you for joining us. We're obviously out here in Austria, a lovely setting behind us. What have you made of your team's preparation so far over here?
The players have been first class since the first day we got back. I've seen a difference from when I first came in 2 years ago to where they are now. The players have come back with a really good level of fitness, and now they're looking to the last couple of years, and this year it's our third pre-season, and they've come back in a really good condition. So they're a joy to work with because they want to work, and they've worked very intensely and very hard. So the training camp out here is perfect for us. You know, it's a really, really, really nice hotel, not over the top but very functional. Training facilities close by, so it gives us a chance to work very hard.
What have you made of? You've obviously had the opportunity to have a look at some players that have come back from loan, some players that have been out injured, and some youngsters as well. How would you assess the state of your squad currently with the transfer window here?
Well, it's still very early. I think it's a case of all players, whether they're going to be here or not. You know, we have a duty to ensure that they're physically fit, and that's the priority at this stage. You know, we need to develop that football fitness. Of course, we're preparing for qualification games in the Champions League, but all the players have come back. The loan players, the young players that have come out with it, they've really coped at a really good level. So yeah, I've been really pleased.
Would you feel that there is plenty of work to be done in the transfer market with bringing in players and also moving players out as well?
Well, I wouldn't say plenty. I think that what we have is we get a very stable squad. What I've loved about our squad is that there's a lot of development left still in them. You know, I look at the likes of Callum McGregor, where he is now to where he was 2 years ago, the authority that he plays the game with now and the confidence. So he's going to continually improve, and there's not a whole number of players with that. But there's no doubt we need to replace, never mind add. You know, we've lost the likes of Stuart Armstrong, who was a very important player for our squad, and the likes of Patrick Roberts, who was very important for us. So without adding, we need to replace those players, and that's something that we hope the club can do over the course of the summer.
Less than 2 weeks now until your European campaign kicks off. How important do you feel, obviously having dominated domestically since you've been here, do you feel that there's maybe a bigger importance on Europe going into this season?
Not really. I don't put any more or less importance on it. I think the first priority is to qualify, and then if we can qualify, then it's always a great opportunity for the club to develop and improve with the finances that are there, and it gives us an experience to play against top class opposition. If you're asking are we going to win the Champions League if we qualify, we've got no chance, and that's maybe not what people want to hear, but that's unfortunate. That's where the club is at, you know. So for us, we want to qualify, and then we want to try and give our very best whilst we're in there.
Realistically, what would you say a successful European campaign would be for Celtic?
I think qualification for the Champions League is important, and there's always the ambition to then come out to the group stage. But I wouldn't say it was failure if we didn't come out of the group stage. So it'll just depend what you define as success, really. You know, for me, we want to qualify, get into the Champions League. It becomes even harder now for us with 4 qualification games in this early stage of pre-season, and then we go in and then we assess it from there.
And then looking at the league campaign, obviously Aberdeen pushed you a bit closer last season. Hibs were good as well. Rangers have of course brought in a new manager in Steven Gerrard. How do you assess the challenge that you'll face this season?
I think it's going to be an exciting challenge. I've really enjoyed the last couple of seasons, and in terms of the league, it's always competitive. What makes it that more difficult for us is that we've had Champions League games to cope with, and lots of, obviously, the cup competition we've done well in, so that adds lots of games for us. So but the challenge will be there again, like it always is. You have to accept that. We're excited by it, and like I say, there's going to be really tough games, but it's no different to what I would have expected when I first came in.
Steven Gerrard's a man that you've worked closely with in the past. Do you relish the challenge of coming up against him this season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to obviously seeing Steven, and he's taken the first steps into management, and like I say, at this stage we're just forming his thoughts on his team and group, and then looking to to have success when he takes them on as the manager into the competitive games. So, but it's no more, no less. Coming up against Stephen than it is Neil Lennon or Craig Levine or Derek McInnes. It's for me, my focus is really on improving the standards at Celtic. That's always the measure for us. We judge ourselves on our own standard, and the standards are very high at Glasgow Celtic. So my focus is very much on that.
Since you've been here as well, you've had a few of your own players out in Russia competing in the World Cup. Is that something that you've managed to take in much of?
Yeah. I've watched a lot of the games. It's been a very good World Cup up until now. Obviously, it gives me great pride seeing players that I've worked with before, and especially our Celtic players out there. For Mika and for Dedrick to now come out of the group stages, both winning the group is a great achievement. And watching Dedrick last night, playing against two I say world class, but certainly top class strikers, Fringland and Rashford and Vardy, how he coped with that. I thought he was outstanding in the game, and showed everything of what I've always believed he's got, which is he's got that pace and power and strength to cope physically, but he also can deal with the football. And I thought his whole game last night was at a very, very high level, and so he's played in 3 games, 3 wins, and played 3 90 minutes. So